Infidelity and divorce after decades of marriage. You're going to say, now who are we talking about? I'm talking about none other than Tina and Teddy Campbell, right? Okay. And y'all like, oh, well, we don't know Tina and Teddy Campbell. Yes, you do. Okay. We know that great gospel singing group, Mary, Erica Campbell, and Tina Campbell as well, right? Yeah. So Tina and her husband Teddy here are divorcing, all right, after 27 long years of marriage here. And guess what, y'all? He filed for divorce. Yeah, he filed for divorce, y'all. Yeah, so we're talking about forgiveness in marriage after repeated infidelity. A husband who cheated, okay, after reconciliation that followed. And now he's divorcing her right after more than two, not one, but two decades together, right? Okay, we're talking about Tina and Teddy Campbell, right? And it's a sad state of affairs. We hate to see beautiful loving couple marriage in. We hate to see a long-standing marriage at that end. And if all of those who know Mary, they had a reality TV show on WeTV where they showcase them, their ups and downs in their marriages, their family life, them touring. Here, they're gospel artists. Take the shackles off my feet so I can dance. Y'all know that song, right? Yeah, so it's the gospel singing group Mary, right? So unfortunately, her sister Tina, husband has filed for divorce, right? And so they're ending their 27-year marriage, right? So it raises some hard questions, right? What does forgiveness really mean, right? Okay, is that saying, all the infidelity, all the hurt, everything that we've gone through together, right? We're just going to go ahead. We're going to forgive each other for any transgressions that we've done to each other. We're going to go ahead and we are going to literally move forward, right? Press forward, work together, get counseling, right? Be there for each other, learn what each other needs. What does forgiveness really mean, right? Right. And then also, what happens? What happens when you forgive, but the marriage still ends? Like we're seeing with Tina and Teddy, right? During the show, it was public. It was public, y'all. During the show, it showcased where he had several, not one, but several, okay, cheating affairs on his wife, right? Okay, she was enraged, right? She was manic. She was so upset with the husband stepping out on her. She expressed her disdain for him always cheating. However, she said she would always go back and forgive him, right? He would cheat and she would go back home and forgive him back and forth. And she said, not once did she ever think about stepping out on her husband. Not once did she think about stepping out on her husband, right? Okay. What happens when you forgive, but the marriage still ends, right? Okay. How does it feel when the spouse who causes the pain files for divorce first? That's right, y'all. So you would think, okay, after years and years of infidelity, all right, that has happened between Tina and Teddy, she would file for divorce. No, after 27 years, the husband, the one who was doing all the cheating, he filed for divorce. Yes, he did. Hi, Miss Anique Woods. Thank you so much for coming on in, Queen. Thank you so much for coming on in. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Right? I could not imagine, that pain, right, of the spouse who actually did all of the cheating, the stepping out, right, the betrayal of the marriage is the one who went and filed for divorce first. Like, wait a minute, partner. Give me the opportunity to go and file for divorce. I'm the one who has been forgiven. I'm the one that has been um doing the reconciliation and putting my feelings to the side and the embarrassment. Because remember, y'all, this was a public show. 2014, they had their show on WeTV and it aired publicly. So they did not get to experience this downfall in the marriage behind closed doors, right? Okay, everything was expressed in the public. We all saw it play out step by step, scene by scene, out on the forefront between Teddy and Tina, right? How does this feel, right? Knowing you went through all of this hurt, all of this pain, only for him, the one who actually caused the pain, to divorce you, right? That's a big blow, right? That's heavy, right? So let's get into the history of this relationship, right? Now, mind you, everybody was like, oh, you know what? A lot of marriages, nowadays, they say 50%. 50% of marriages do not last, right? 50%. But Teddy and Tina had a long standing relationship, y'all. Teddy and Tina had a long standing relationship. They were married not in 2025, right? Not in 2014. They were married back in 2000. Back in 2000, over 2 decades together, right? How many marriages do you know, right? In your family, your coworkers, your friends, right? Okay, people that you know that have marriages over 20 years, over 20 years, right? Okay, that's hard to find nowadays. Very sad to say, but very hard to find marriages over 20 years in this day and age, right? So they were married in 2000, over 2 decades together. Okay, they have children together. They've shared a life and they share a faith together, right? So, Mary, she is a Christian artist as well here. Like I said, we know her from Take the Shackles Off My Feet, right? We know that. Okay. So she most definitely had a long standing relationship with her husband. However, on WeTV, the two sisters had a show where they documented their lives, their family, their husbands, okay, them touring and singing and just the ups and downs of tour life, right? Of them being gospel artists, right? Okay, so we saw everything about their family, right? But in 2014, their marriage faced a major rupture, infidelity, right? And it happened all in the public eye, all in the public eye. This is the ultimate betrayal in a marriage, right? Ultimate. I can't think of no other ultimate betrayal in a marriage than infidelity, right? Because you go down to that altar before God and you say your vows, right? And you make a vow to each other, right? And that is the ultimate betrayal that any spouse can do to each other, right? Is huge. That is really, really huge, right? Okay, that's not just betrayal, that's betrayal that he did towards her and also towards a family member as well, right? Yeah, absolutely, Anita. Right. So unfortunately, he has, was stepping out on her, with the infidelity, right? But the major blow for her was that he stepped out not with a stranger, right? Not with someone that he did not know. He didn't step out with someone he got connected to. Now, mind you, Teddy has his own gospel group as well. It's not as large, it's not as well known as Mary, right? Okay, but he has his own quartet group, if I'm correct in that here. So he does sing as well. So he has got his bandmates. Okay, so it wasn't someone, that he's working with behind the scenes, with his group. It wasn't anyone out there that he met in networking in a business. No. The person that he had a affair with, right, was his own children's godmother. Come on, Teddy. Come on, Teddy. Now, come on. So that's a major blow. That was a major blow to Tina at that. That's someone who was close to the family, very close to the family. That's somebody who just in case something happens to me, something happens to you, I can trust the godmother to take care of our children, right? Okay, she can take care of anything that's happening with the children. I put my trust in this particular woman that she is going to do everything for me. But she did the ultimate betrayal and she had an affair with her husband, right? ultimate betrayal. So, like I said, it's deep with Tina and Teddy. It's very deep. Yeah. Oh, yes, Anik. This goes deep with Tina and Teddy, right? So this was the godmother that actually he had the affair with, right? Now, mind you, he had allegedly, according to the show, he had multiple affairs on Tina, right? So the big blow was the godmother that he had the affair with, right? Okay. Then he also had other affairs with other different women as well. So she stated in the show that, she's on the road. She's touring with her sister, Mary. And she stated that every time she would go out on tour, come back home, it was another affair. She would forgive, go on tour, another affair. So she said she just kept going back and forth, back and forth. She said she was at her wits' end at that point. I used to watch the reality show. Yes, 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 yes. If you remember, it was something else to watch. That dynamic with Tina and her husband and her sister and their family, like it was a show. It really was, right? Okay. And then you can also see how her emotional response to the infidelity happened, right? She was enraged. You remember he had a classic car in the garage. And when the camera panned in, she was talking about how her and Teddy was going through it, and she said she was enraged. She was furious that he could do that to her while she was out there following her dreams, fulfilling her purpose. And he would be out here doing God knows what with God knows who, right? So she took her frustrations out, her rage out on his classic car, his baby. The one thing he loves the most, right? Was that beautiful car of his. Baby, when they showed that classic car, the windows was bust out of the car. The car had dents all in the doors. It was a wreck, right? It was a wreck, baby. She was like turned into Jasmine Sullivan. I bust those windows out your car, baby. She was busting windows. She was busting windows, okay? Yeah, she was busting windows. She sure was. So she was enraged, right? She said she had thoughts of what she could do to harm this man, allegedly, right? So she was like, how could you do this to us? We've got all these years together. And that was 14 years already in at that particular time, right? Okay. And then they had very young children also at the time. I believe their youngest was 2. And then what made it worse, she got pregnant in the midst of the infidelity, right? And she got pregnant in the midst of the infidelity. So she was crying. She was all on the floor. She was bawling to her sisters. Like, what am I going to do? I'm pregnant again. He out here, running the streets with the godmother, with this other woman. You know what I'm saying? Every time I go and tour and following my dreams, he's stepping out on me. What am I going to do, right? She's devastated. She's bawling her eyes out. She's crying out to her sisters. They're trying to console her. You remember that, Unique? Right. Oh my goodness. It was so sad to see. It was so sad to see, right? Okay, right. She was just devastated, right? She was feeling like she lost control of her marriage, right? You know what I'm saying? Like I'm fulfilling my dreams. Like this is a dream come true. I'm a singer. How many singers are in our churches? How many singers that can blow, right? They can sing the roof. They can sing the roof off the church, right? And she's gotten the opportunity to actually travel the world, spread the love of the Lord, right? To follow her purpose, follow her dream, and she's doing it with her sister, right? Okay. She is doing what she is supposed to do. But all while at home, she's worrying about her husband who can't even be faithful to her while she's out doing the Lord's work. That's crazy. I didn't know she was going through all that hurt. Yes, Anik. Yes, it was so much. It was so much compounding on her, right? Okay, that she was going through, right? She was losing control at that point, right? Okay, it got to the point where at this point she wanted to break up the group. right? So the sister was like, okay, well, I know you going through and you got this going on with Teddy, but we got this tour date coming on. We got to be in this city. We have different venues we're already booked for the year. And Tina was like, I don't know, Erica. I don't know if I'm going. I don't know if I'm going because I'm telling you what all I got going on at the house. How can I leave my husband who is basically not happy? He's not happy with me being out on this road. He's not happy with me out here singing and performing while he's home with the children. He's not happy with this situation, right? So in her mind, I'm going to forego my dreams. I'm going to forego the singing group. Basically, she left Erica hanging. Okay, during this time, that's when the group started to break up because she stated she has to be home with Teddy because she can't go out and leave him because I guess he's feeling abandoned or whatever, and they started to show where she canceled. She canceled when Erica had to hold it down by herself. Erica started going out by herself. It wasn't Mary anymore. It was one Mary going out there holding it down. Tina was home with Teddy, and they were showing in the reality show where they were all lovey-dovey, like they was reconciling. And she said, I've got to make sure I'm there for my husband. He needs my attention. Like I gotta be there for him and my family. Like I gotta be a wife. I have to be in the home, right? So it was being portrayed that she was getting her family back together, and he was satisfied with her being home, and she had given up going out on tour. She pulled back with all the singing and everything, right? Because she wanted to reconcile her marriage, right? So they started showing that. Okay. But before that reconciliation, they were showing her tan up. She was tearing up those cars with the baseball bat, right? She was angry, right? She was conflicted. She wants her marriage, but you are embarrassing me in this public eye, right? You're coming out here showing the world what you're doing, They don't have privacy because they've signed a contract for a reality TV show, and now the cameras are there. The cameras are watching everything. The cameras are seeing all of this play out, right? He didn't even have the decency to tell her in private. You see what I'm saying? Like all of this just came out in public. Like, can we try to keep this, in house? But it came out in the public eye. Like she was embarrassed. And she loved her husband. She wanted her family to stay together. So most definitely, they did the counseling, they did the work, they reconciled to keep the family together, right? But on the surface, right? On the surface, it looked like they were a happy family, right? It looked like they were holding it together. It looked like she was trying to make sure she had a happy home, right? But it was all surface. It was all surface level at that point, right? And yeah. Yeah, it was. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it was all surface. Yeah, yeah. So, what does forgiveness look like in this type of situation, right? Okay, the spouse has cheated multiple times, right? She said he had a harem, and you know what a harem is. That's where a man has allegedly multiple women's coming in and out, right? One over here, one in this city, right? When he go and has his shows, quartet groups, right? He's got the women on the road, right? He's got the godmother at, at his disposal in the house while she's gone, right? So he's got a plethora, a harem of women, right? What does forgiveness look like in that type of situation, right? Okay, with a cheating scandal. It's a mess. Yeah. Hi, Marina Latrina. Thank you so much, Queen, for coming on in. We are talking about the ultimate betrayal, right? The ultimate betrayal. We're talking about Tina and Teddy Campbell here, where he has filed for divorce after him cheating multiple times, right, on Tina Campbell, right? He's filed for divorce on her. 27 years of marriage going about to be down the drain, right? We're talking about how the forgiveness looks, after a cheating scandal, right? Okay. So for her, the cheating happened in the public eye, right? We saw it on WeTV. It was play by play. All right, screen by screen, day by day, we saw it play all out with the cheating scandal, right? So they decided to stay together. They decided to work it out, right? They worked it out publicly on the screen, like I said, after she bust the windows out the cars, after she was screaming and hollering and yelling and kicking and crying, right? Saying, how could he do this to me? She was like, I never thought once to cheat on him. Not once did I think about going to another man. She was like, not once did I want to do that, right? Okay. The embarrassing shame of it all, right? He in there uh cheating on her with the children's godmother. She's family. She's family, right? He's messing with the godmother, allegedly, right? All of that. Hi, thank God, daily prayers one. Thank you so much, Queen, for coming on in. Blessings to you as well. Yeah, yeah, Marina Latrina, it's a mess. It's a mess, right? Okay. After all of that, right? We're watching it play by play, all on the big screen. Okay. They decide as a family, as a unit, they're going to choose to reconcile, right? Okay. But forgiveness is not the same as restoration, right? You can forgive, but those scars are still there, right? Those scars, right? She's got scars going in the multiple infidelity that's happened. It happened on TV. It happened in public. It happened with my godmother, that for my children, right? You even messing with the women that's close to me, that's supposed to be somebody I can leave my children with. Something happened to me, I can reach out to her, and anything happened to me and my husband, you're going to take care of my children. You're messing with her now. You know what I'm saying? You're fracturing my security that I have for my children. Right? I wouldn't forgive him and move on. Right, Anique. Right, right. I would forgive and move on because that's a lot. Like I said, that was a lot to deal with, right? It's a lot of that's what's the ultimate betrayal, the ultimate betrayal with Teddy, with the godmother. That was a low blow. Like, man, come on now, really, the godmother, and maybe because she was doing the wifely duties, because she was in the home, she was taking care of the children, and he had access. He had close access to the godmother because she was right there, right there. Too much, yeah, and it was too much, right? She's got a lot of scars from that, right? And then with the scars that she has, she's trying to not spaz out on him. She's sitting in there after doing all of this, right? Ranting and raging and crying, you know what I'm saying? And then, like I said, in the mix of the infidelity, she gets pregnant. She gets pregnant, right? So now you're like, okay, we got this 2-year old. I'm pregnant again. You out here cheating left and right. Do we need to hold this family together? I got 2 little babies that I got to raise. Am I going to break this family up? No, she doesn't want to break the family up, right? I'm going to forgive him and we're going to raise these children together, right? Okay. Good evening. I don't know who Teddy Campbell is. Hi, Crystal Coach Man. Thank you. Yeah, Tina and Teddy are the duo. You remember Mary Mary? Take my shackles off my feet so I can dance. The gospel singing group. Okay. Well, you got Erica Campbell and then you got Tina Campbell, the 2 sisters. Okay. Well, Tina Campbell is one of the sisters in the group, and she's married to Teddy. That's her husband. After 27 years of marriage, Teddy, the husband, has now filed for divorce after multiple affairs on Tina, right? Multiple affairs. She's a gospel singer. Yeah, Marina Latrina, she's a gospel singer. Mary Mary. Yeah, the lighter one. Well, both of them are light. The one who has the red hair. The red hair. You know, Erica always has the black hair, and Tina has the red hair. Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. The Tina has the red hair. Yep, she's the red hair. Yes. So, gospel singers, right? So she's carrying all these scars. She's carrying all these scars, right? Okay. And she is trying to forgive this man for everything, right? You sleeping with the godmother, you sleeping with all kind of different women. God knows who, where, when are they coming in home when I'm out singing, touring, with my sister, all of that. Yeah, he got big nerve, right? Anique, big nerve, big nerve, right? And she's out there doing the Lord's work, She's out there doing what she is supposed to be doing, following her purpose, right? Spreading the love of God, doing what she's supposed to do. And his role is to make sure he hold the house down, right? Okay, she's got the godmother, Lord have mercy, supposed to be helping with the children. She's got her sisters and her mom and everything like that while they're traveling here. But he was not happy with that situation, right? So he decided to step out, okay, and show her and physically that he wasn't happy with the situation that she had going on with the touring, right? Okay. So for her, her forgiveness was, okay, I'm going to hold the house together. You didn't embarrass me publicly. But what forgiveness looks like in that kind of situation, I'm not going to retaliate, right? So, like she said, I didn't think about messing with another man. I didn't go out and say, you know what, you can do it, I can do it too. She said, I'm not going to do that, right? She was like, I want my marriage. I want my husband. I want my family, right? She said, I'm not going to retaliate against him. Welcome, welcome to Battle Zone. Forgiveness is for you, and I would move on. That healing process is the forgiveness. My God. Butterflies, pink elephants, you may not believe in a supreme God, karma is real. Well, that's what she chose to do, right? She chose to forgive him. Marina Latrina says she's out. Marina Latrina says she will be out. She was like, that is too much to deal with. Too much to deal with, right? Okay. You also have to start to rebuild trust. Now, mind you, she's in a group. She goes on tours, right? She has to go out of town. She's flying across country, right? Very popular group at this time, right? They're doing different events. Her and Erica, the sister, Mary. Okay. You have to build the trust again. Can I trust my husband to not step out while I'm out doing the Lord's work? Can I trust him? Right? And now I got to get rid of the godmother because ain't no way she gonna be up in my house watching my kids. I can't trust her no more. That trust is gone. Ain't no way, right? That bridge, that relationship is severed, right? She's betrayed me, the ultimate betrayal. She's betrayed me. There's no way. Yeah, I can't do it, right? Okay? Fighting against resentment daily. Can you imagine, right? Not having some sort of resentment, all right, towards your spouse if they ultimately betrayed you in that manner, right? You have to just, ooh, I you got to be some kind of strong woman, strong man, if the roles were reversed, right? To not resent your spouse, right? You are breaking relationships that I formed, okay, for the protection of my children. Like I said, he stepped out with her godmother of her children, right? The godmother for her children. He chose to step out with her, someone who I put all my trust in. That's a serious role, right? That's a serious role, okay? And the resentment. Every time you wake up, every time you look at them, and I'm sure you're going to see her in passing, right? Because the community is tight. I'm sure you all live within the same area, right? You may even attend the same church, attend the same family functions. She may even be a relative of one of your relatives, right? Okay. You may see her. The resentment you're going to see when you see them every day. Right. Can't trust nobody, not even the godmother. Marina Latrina, it's bad. It's bad. And you should. You should be able to trust the godmother. Of all people, you should be able to trust the godmother, right? Okay, because when we have our ceremonies, we go into church, right? And we have the pastor go up in the pulpit and we bring, okay, we want all the godmothers and the godfathers to come up and we give all the blessings for the godmothers and the godfathers, and they got to hold the babies and everything. That's a serious role, right? Right. That is a whole serious role. And I can't trust the godmother, someone who I done put up in the church. All right, up in the Lord done bless, the pastor done bless. We done said prayers to make sure you protect the children. And you can't even do that for me. That's exhausting, right? That's a daily, daily battle that I couldn't imagine what she was going through daily with that, right? One little fight, you in the concert, y'all in the restaurant, and he glancing at the bar, or he glancing at the table next to him. What you looking at? Somebody caught your eye? Do you know her? Got Ooh, she had to check herself continually, right? She had to always continue to check herself, right? Okay. Can't be looking at family members sideways, right? Okay. People in the church. He's in a band. He's got probably bandmates, their wives, managers, right? He's going to concerts. Is it a constant worry for her? Is he picking up fans? You know what I'm saying? As he's going to do his concerts. Can she trust him? It's a daily battle for her, right? Okay. All right. So if you forgive, shouldn't the marriage be saved? What do y'all think about that? If you forgive, shouldn't the marriage be saved? Right? You would say, oh, yeah, if I forgive him, then that should save our marriage, right? Trust nobody but God. People are people. Stuff is sad. This is the time family are under attack. The battle's on. You got that right. Families are under attack. And at this day and age, you got to put all your trust in God. You have got to do that, right? Okay? So you say, okay, I'm going to forgive them, and this is going to save my marriage. Not necessarily so, right? Forgiveness heals the person, right? It's like the battle zone said earlier. Forgiveness is for you. Forgiveness is for you to heal, right? Okay. It's going to heal the person, right? But it doesn't guarantee that the relationship is going to survive. Clearly, like we see, she forgave and she forgave and she forgave. Not once, not twice, not three times. Allegedly, we don't know how many times, right? But she said every time she went out to her tours, every time she went out to a venue, she would come home for him to tell her he was stepping out, he was being unfaithful. And she said she kept forgiving and kept forgiving and kept forgiving, right? But it did not guarantee that their marriage, their relationship survived. Like I said, he filed for divorce on her, even though he was the one stepping out, right? Okay. So let's fast forward, right? Let's fast forward, right? After years and years and years of trying, right? Holding the marriage down. She even broke up her group. She broke up the Mary Mary group because she said, I cannot be out on this road because he's not happy with me touring. I got to stay home. I got to stay home and be with him, right? Yeah, I'm gonna have to see how this person looks. Now, Crystal Coachman, child, both of them are beautiful people, right? Beautiful people. The Teddy person, yeah, beautiful people. I can't say nothing wrong about them, right? Tina's beautiful. Teddy's a handsome guy. Beautiful people, right? Beautiful couple. Beautiful children, right? Love the Lord, right? Beautiful people. Okay. Fast forward, it's years and years and years. We've done seen them on WeTV publicly. All right, we see the embarrassment. She busting up cars with the bats, baby. She tore them cars down, right? She was like, I can't believe he did this to me, right? It's all public, right? He has shamed her, embarrassed her, but she said, I'm going to give up the group. Well, as we saw, they broke up the group. She told her sister, I can't go out on tour with you no more, girl. I got to stay home because I can't even leave the house and my husband dipping out on me. So I got to stay home and be a wife in the house. I have to stay in the house. So she sacrificed her career, right? All these years, she sacrificed her career. Y'all ever thought about why we don't see Mary Mary no more? Tina sacrificed the group. She had to make sure that her husband did not step out on her. Yeah. Was that show called Mary Mary or something? I think so, Crystal Coachman. I think it was called Mary Mary as well. I can't remember the name of it, but it was on WeTV. No, anytime you break that covenant, it's over. He didn't value her or the marriage. Yes, battle zone. Yeah, he did not value the marriage. Yeah, he broke the covenant. It was broken. It was broken. Yeah, he didn't. And she was trying to salvage it, but it was already broken. Mm-mm. Yeah, I think it was called Mary Mary, Crystal Coachman. I can't remember the title of it, but I do believe it was Mary Mary. They used to have a show back in the day. Yes, that's right, Marina Latrina. Yep, yep, we used to watch it. I used to watch it faithfully. I sure did. and it was on WeTV. You're right. It was on OWN. That's right. Yep. It was on the OWN network, I believe. Yep. WeTV. Okay. Yes. Hi, Miss Doris Rose. Thank you so much for coming on in. I appreciate you. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Yeah, because I think Oprah owned the OWN network. Yeah, Oprah does own the OWN network now. She sure does. Yep. WeTV. Yeah, that was WeTV back then. Yeah, but I don't know if Oprah owned it back then or not. But yeah, it was WeTV that was on. But yeah, so she broke up the group. So y'all was like, well, whatever happened to Mary Mary? Yeah, Tina was like, I can't go out on tour no more, right? I have to make sure I stay home because my husband is not happy with me out and about, right? Touring. So she said, okay, we got to slow this down, Erica. And so Erica started having to go out on her own and doing different things. She had got on the radio. She did her radio show and different things that she had to start branching off on her own because the group was broken. It was no more Mary Mary at that point, right? Yeah, yeah, the battle zone group disbanded because she put her focus on her husband, right? Because he was not happy. He was not happy with her touring. She was huge at that time. If y'all remember, they were everywhere. They were everywhere, right? Okay, they was winning awards. They were really, really at the top of the charts, right? And so he was not happy with that, and that could have been with him. That could have been with him. He also had a singing group, but his group was not at that level that Mary Mary was on, right? And so it could have been ego. He didn't want to see his wife surpass and succeed and make them more money than him because you know how some men are, right? Ego will get in there. The wife cannot make more than me, right? I'm the leader of the house. And for me to have some type of control, right? Let me go and find a woman that will appreciate me, doing a little bit for her, or being her protector, or showing that I'm the man of the house and not me home with the kids, with the children, right? I'm pretty sure he had some type of ego in there. Yep, I remember seemed like they fell off the map. Exactly, Crystal Coachman. Right, they fell off the map. Yeah, because she chose, which is her choice, to work on the marriage, right? So years and years of trying, okay, she's trying to hold it together, right? After all that public shame. Yeah, ego. Yeah, Crystal, ego. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Ego really is, right? So after years and years and years of trying to hold the marriage together, she gave up her career. She gave up her singing career. She's home with the children, raising the children and everything with the husband. Guess what he does? He goes and files for divorce first on her. After all of the infidelity that he's done, he goes and files for divorce first on her. How does that feel? You have sacrificed your career. You're at the top of the charts singing. People wanted you to come at their church events, their concerts. I remember going to see Mary Mary with Kirk Franklin in my area. When I say it was a time, baby, they sung the roof off that building. When they sung the roof off that building, they sung the roof off that building because both of them sisters can blow. And then you got Kurt cutting up too. It was a time. We had a time in there, right? She should have stayed on the road then. Exactly, Crystal. Her sister tried to tell her, stay on the road. Let's continue to move. Let's continue to build. Let's continue to grow, right? You never know where they could have been by now, right? Yes, caught you live. Oh, thank you so much. Do it like Desi. Thank you so much, Queen, for coming on in. I appreciate you. Yeah, Kirk Franklin was hot back then. Exactly. Yeah. So that trio in concert, yeah, it was popping. It was popping, and we had a good time, right? Okay. But that wasn't going to work for Teddy, not in that household, right? That ego wasn't going to allow her to continue to tour and build that group, right? Right? So he filed for divorce, right? Even after all the years of infidelity that's happened, right? Sleeping with the allegedly with the godmother and all the other different women, right? He filed for a divorce after 27 years. He said, I'm out. Yeah, you forgave me. Yeah, we spent all these years building and raising the children and everything. I'm gone, right? I'm gone. How does that feel? Is that reopening old wounds that happened back in 2014 when this was all in public, in the public eye? Now everybody's talking about him. He filed for divorce. What's up with that? Why is he leaving? Where is he going? Why he can't say, you know what? Let me reconcile with her. Let me see what we can do to get us back on track. It's 27 years of marriage, and you want to file for divorce? What's up? What's going on with that picture? That's my job for my wife, saying the man who's been married 3 times and divorced. This is sickening. 27 years is crazy. The battle zone is crazy. We was just saying, you do not see marriages barely over 20 plus years anymore, right? Because the divorce rate is 50-50, 50% now. You got a 50-50 chance of making it out here, right? Divorce is tough. Divorce is hard. You know what I'm saying? It's out here. It's sad, right? 27 years. Was there nothing you can do? No counseling, nothing you can do to hold this 27 years of marriage together? Not nothing. Yeah, it would be for me. Right. Hi, Glam Decor. Thank you so much, Queen. Right. Yeah. Yeah. I just looked at who Teddy Campbell was. Okay, Crystal. He looked familiar, but I can't put my finger on who he looks like. He's not bad looks at all, though. I'm gonna say they're a beautiful couple. They're a beautiful couple. Tina and Teddy are a beautiful couple, have beautiful kids, a beautiful family, right? Beautiful family. 27 years down the drain. Down the drain. And for what? For what? Right? He's going to file for a divorce. Oh, for what? What's happening after 27 years that you can't hold the house, this family unit together after all y'all done been through? I mean, y'all done been through the gamut. Ain't nothing y'all ain't been through. Y'all done been through the fire. You done been through the storm. Y'all done been through it all. Teddy and Tina have been through it, and publicly at that. They've been through it all publicly, right? And he gonna go and file for divorce first. Really, Teddy? Really? Man. Mm-mm. Yeah, and he slept with someone else. Exactly, Crystal. He was the one that stepped out. She forgave him over and over and over, right? It wasn't just the godmother, which was the ultimate betrayal now, but it was other women as well. Okay? She forgave him. Whatever was happening at this time, was it nothing that y'all couldn't get over? Was it nothing that y'all couldn't work out? Was it nothing that your counselor, your pastor, someone couldn't help with? 27 years? The godmother, yes, at Miss Tiffany. The godmother of the children. That's who he stepped out with. That was the ultimate betrayal. One of one of the women was the godmother. Yes, yes. Was the godmother older or younger? Now, Crystal Coachman, that I don't know. That I don't know. I didn't get into the specifics of who the godmother was here, but I do know it was the godmother to the children here. But yeah, so it was close. It was close in the family. Yeah, the godmother is crazy. Glam decor, insane. Insane. Like I said, during that time, Tina was touring. So she needed someone that she trusted close that could stay and watch her children, right? Be in the household, right? Somebody you trust. I would never think my godmother would be in danger of stepping out with my spouse. Come on, really? The godmother that's supposed to be watching the children, my infant, my little children, because mind y'all now, she had little children at this time. Her youngest was 2, and then during the infidelity, she got pregnant again. So she was battling with all of that as well, right? Okay, that's closer than close. That's right, Miss Tiffany. That's right. That's closer than close. That's closer than close. That's family. That is family. That's closer than close, right? Yeah, that's somebody who, if something happens to me, something happens to my husband, you're going to raise my children. You're going to protect my children, right? Ultimate betrayal. Mm-mm. Yeah, that's who he looks like to me. He looked like RL from Next. Oh, you know what? Okay, I can see the resemblance, Crystal. Yeah, I can see the resemblance now that you said it. They had it made in the shade. Yeah, they really did, Miss Tiffany. They really did. All the money coming in. Yes. She's gone and they had full reign of the house. Boom. Yeah, they had it made in the shade. Made in the shade, right? She on tour. She's singing for the Lord with her and her sister, right? He's got the kids. The kids are running amok in the house. The godmother's in there cooking, cleaning. She is the wife in the house. All the bank accounts are set. She got access. Whatever you need, godmother. Make sure the kids are straight, cook, clean. They probably had maids in the house, so she ain't really had to clean. You live in a lavish lifestyle out there in LA and everything. So they ain't had nothing to worry about the money coming in, right? They going out, parlaying, one big happy family in the house while Tina is out there working, doing the Lord's work. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I'm not for certain. Yeah, I think so, Crystal. They probably had a huge house, so she's never home. Yeah, she had a beautiful, beautiful home. Beautiful home. She really did. I bet they be eating good. Yeah, eating good, living lavish. And I say he had a nice, beautiful, classic car, before she, bust the windows out the car. But yeah, it was beautiful. He loved the classic cars. Anything Teddy wanted, Tina provided for. You see what I'm saying? Lavish lifestyle, right? Lavish. Yeah. Okay. But forgiveness. And you gonna go and do 27 years and you gonna file for divorce first, right? All that pain from 2014, right? All that pain from previous infidelities, all of that is going to come rushing back. All of that is going to come rushing back. It's going to come flooding back in her memories where she was like, you know what? I had to put it all out of my mind because I'm trying to keep my family together. I got to raise these kids with him. I might see the godmother in passing in the church around family. I got to keep it together. I can't retaliate against him. I can't blow up and bring it up. When we get into a little argument, I got to hold it together because I want my family. And then after all of that, you go and file for divorce? Come on, man. Enough is enough. We have boundaries. Go find you some new goods. Leave other people goods alone. Just nasty. The battle's on. That part. That part. But listen, the godmother see how Tina got it, right? The godmother see Tina's got a lovely home. Tina's got a refrigerator full of food. Tina's got these beautiful children. She's got a good looking husband. He home. He available. And she going on the road and leaving her good looking husband here? Hmm. I wonder if I could slide in there and be a part of it. I ain't trying to be the wife, but see what I can get out of it. Crazy, right? She got right on in there. Close. Ultimate betrayal. Right. That's what Medea used to say. Forgive is for you, not for the other person. That's right, Crystal. It's for you. Forgiveness is for you. Yeah. Because you see what happened after all those years. She forgave and forgave. And she said, okay, I'm going to go ahead and reconcile. I'm going to go ahead and try to keep the family together. I'm going to go ahead and keep doing, what I can do to hold this unit together. Only for him, after 27 years, go and file for divorce first. That's crazy. So you got to think, was all that pain she went through for nothing? Mm, in the heart. That's a dagger to my heart. You hear me? That's a dagger to my heart. All the pain, all the suffering I went through publicly now, because remember, it's all played out on We TV, y'all. We saw it play by play with everything. All that pain, embarrassment I went through. It wasn't for nothing. 27 years down the drain for nothing? Mm-mm. Mm-mm. He looks like he sang, right? Yeah, Marina Latrina. Yeah, he's also a singer as well. So he has his own group. Now, I didn't become large like Mary, but yeah, he has his own singing group as well. So he sings too. Yeah, right? Okay. So you fighting for your marriage, right? You devastated, right? You drained, you fatigued, you worn out, right? I done went to counseling. I done went to the pastor. Okay. I done the work, right? I gave up my singing career. My popular singer career was at the top of the charts, at the height of our career. I said, you know what? I can't do it no more. I stopped singing. I gave up my purpose. I gave up my dreams to be at home for you because you said you weren't happy, right? That I was gone, I was touring, right? I was following my dreams, following my purpose. I gave it all up for you. I came home. I was in the home for you, right? So we saw it. We saw it all play out bit by bit, right? Okay. Now, you can be sad. It could be mixed in that, right? Because like I said, that's tiresome, especially if he still was out there doing what he was doing, right? Because we don't know what's been happening. 27 years, he might have said, you know what? I want to continue to do what I'm doing, right? I still want to dip out there in them streets. I still want to do what I want to do, right? And maybe she still was forgiven and forgiven and forgiven all these years. We don't know. We don't know. And right, so it could be a mix. It could be a sense of relief that he went and filed for divorce, and a little bit of sadness as well that the marriage is ending. But maybe she didn't have the heart to go file. She didn't have the heart to go file. Maybe she saw where, you know what? No matter what I do, no matter if I was touring, no matter if I was home, he still was not going to be satisfied. He still wasn't going to be happy. He still was going to tip out no matter what I do, no matter what, right? He probably doing some stuff for 27 years. Marina Latrina, yeah, yeah. Teddy Slick, allegedly. Slick, Slick, yeah. 27 years. Yeah, he probably was out there for the whole time. Because like she was stating that it wasn't just the godmother, which is crazy. It was other women as well, right? So he could have throughout the years, we don't know because it wasn't in the public eye anymore, right? He could have still been stepping out. He didn't have eyes on him no more. So he really could move how he really wanted to move now. He really could do what he wanted to do. Yeah, because the public eye, the cameras weren't there. He didn't have to disclose anything anymore, right? And her being like, I don't want to let him go. I need to let him go, but I don't want to let him go. He probably like, you know what? Let me go ahead and divorce you because you'll never let me go. I want to do what I want to do. After 27 years, good riddance, time for peace. Glad Nicole, I know that's right. 27 years. I know she tired. She got to be tired. She got to be tired. Okay? Yeah. Yeah, she got to be. Hi, Miss Denise. Welcome, welcome, Queen. Thank you so much for coming on in. Yeah, we're talking about the ultimate betrayal. Tina and Teddy Campbell has divorced. Well, they are divorcing. He has filed first, and he was cheating on her multiple times throughout their marriage here. We saw that on WeTV, right? Cheating with the godmother of the children, right? But he go and file for divorce. And we're talking about forgiveness, how she was dealing with this over 27 years. Okay, a marriage down the drain. Yeah, Teddy was slick. Teddy slick. Teddy was slick. So 27 years, she could have a mix of relief and sadness, especially if he was cheating on her continuous through those 27 years. It could be she didn't have the heart to divorce him because she still has two minor children. Allegedly they are 14 and 16. So she still's got, young children in the home. So she didn't have the heart to go and divorce him because she still had the young children in the home. And is she taking away their father? So maybe she didn't want to do it. Maybe she didn't want to do it, but I'm sure she got tired, right? Okay. And the sad part about it is why couldn't, and even if that wasn't the case, why couldn't he let her file for divorce first, right? He was the one in the wrong. Okay. Let her file for divorce, right? He cheated, right? She's the one that forgave him over the years, and he filed for divorce. It just don't sit right. It just don't sit right. Why you go and run and file for a divorce first? Was she not willing to divorce you? Like you just wanted out of this marriage so bad so you can be free and do how you want to do because you done sat in the marriage for too long, 27 years. You like, I'm done. I'm ready to live my life. I've raised these kids as best as I can. I sat in this marriage for long enough. I'm gone. Do y'all think he already got somebody else in the wings? Probably, maybe, allegedly. Let's see how much alimony he gets. Boom. That part. 27 years. 27 years. Yeah, he's getting a good amount because 27 years, he gonna get that. He gonna get that alimony, Marina Latrina. He gonna get that. Some women just keep a man to say they got a man. There you go, Marina Latrina. That could have been the situation as well. Keeping a man just to say you got a man, you know what he's about, you know he's not loyal, you know he's not going to keep his vows, you know he keeps showing you. He's not telling you, but he's showing you. He doesn't want to be monogamous in a marriage. He wants multiple women. He's showing you that he wants that throughout the marriage. He would go as far as to sleep with your children's godmother. Come on now. Come on. The disrespect. The disrespect. The disrespect, right? He's showing you. Yeah. Remember that episode she broke down? Yes, Miss Denise. Yes, yes, yes. We were talking about her feelings, right? She was enraged. So you remember she was angry at first and she took the baseball bat and she bust the windows out all of his classic cars and she had the windows all broke up at the car and everything. So she went through all the phases, right? She went through anger. I want to hurt this man, right? Then she went through devastation where she broke down. When I say this woman broke down, oh, I broke down with her. I remember that day clear as day. She fell down to the floor. She was sobbing uncontrollable. Her sisters had to gather her. Was like, what am I going to do? Because she ended up pregnant throughout all the infidelity, right? So another baby was coming in the mix of all of this mess. It was crazy. Yes. Sure, he wants something. Yeah, Marina Latrina. Yeah, broken. Yeah, Denise, she was broken. She was broken. She really was. Yeah, she was broken. And I don't know if she wanted to save face. And like I said, well, this was all in the public. We were watching this step by step, everything just played out on TV, right? Nothing was private. Everything happened publicly. Like we saw it all, right? All of the emotions that she went through. She didn't even have a chance to handle any of this privately. All of it played out on national TV for us to see, right? Okay. So she went through all of that in front of us to hold it all together. Like Marina Latrina said, maybe just to say she got a man, right? So she not doing it all alone with her kids. Just to say I got one, but you're gonna go through all of that just to say you got one? Mm-mm. No way. No way, right? Okay, right? So she's feeling like, you know what? We done went through all of this public shame, public embarrassment. Okay, us showing the world we can go through the ultimate betrayal and we can still hold our family together for you to walk away and you be the one that filed for divorce. That's a lot of hurt and pain, right? 27 years, y'all. That's a lifetime. That's a lifetime. That is a lifetime, right? Yeah. Broken. Yeah. Broken. That's a lifetime. Okay. She's grieving. And Marina Latrina brought up alimony, right? The investment. Think about she made great money. They have a beautiful lavish home. The home was beautiful, gorgeous, y'all. Beautiful. Right? So think about homes, investments, businesses, money from her touring, her records, all of that, all of that is up for his grabs now. 27 years, he got a right to all of it. He sure does. He got a right to every last penny of it. 27 years. He been there from the beginning. He been there from the beginning. Yes, Glam. He been there right from the beginning. So the homes that she's raising the children in, he's got a right to it. The money that she's made from touring, right? Being the best gospel group, Mary Mary, her reality TV show, all those years she was on a reality TV show, all that money she's made from that, okay? Any sponsorships, okay? Concerts, any investments, other properties that she's had. He has access to all of it, right? And mind you, the children are still 14 and 16. Will he go as far as to ask for custody? While she was out on tour, he was the one at home with the children. He was the one at home with the children. This another Candy and Todd situation, right? This another Candy and Todd situation. He was at home with the children. Do he got a right to spousal support? Does he have a right to child support? Does he have a right to alimony? He got a right to all the homes, the properties, the businesses. 27 years, right? All the sacrifices she's made is down the tube, right? Everything she's built, she's got to give it to him. Half of it at least. At least. At least. Yeah, of course he does. Yeah. Yeah, Mr. Neem. 27 years. He put the time in. Even with all the infidelity, the cheating, the embarrassment, the shame he did, had her out here looking like a nut, crazy, and he still is able to walk away with it all. With it all, right? That's a oof, baby. You done put a dagger in my heart. You hear me? That's a dagger in my heart. 27 years. Come on. Come on, right? So then she's got to start to think after 27 years, right? Who am I, right? Because I gave up. I gave up. I gave up my dreams in my singing group. I gave up touring. I gave up Mary Mary so that I can be the wife you wanted me to be, right? So she got to think, who am I outside of this marriage, right? Am I able to put myself back out there in the singing group, right? Am I able to get the group back together? Do I even do that? Right? What does this even mean for me? Right? What about the children? How are they going to react to father not being in the home anymore? Right? Now you got to think about that. Yeah, they're a little older, 14 and 16 years old, but still, now they're at the stage where dad is not going to be in the home like that anymore. Dad is not going to be here present with us. It's going to be different for Christmas and it's going to be different for Thanksgiving. It's going to be different where we're not traveling together as a family, a unit anymore, right? Things going to look different for the children. Okay. Right. And another question, does it hurt more when the cheater leaves? Hmm. Does that hurt more when the cheater leaves? Or would it have hurt less if she was the one that filed for divorce? Right. Right. I'm thinking it hurts more because I'm the one who got cheated on. I'm the one who stayed. I'm the one who made the sacrifices on my career. I'm the one who said, let's reconcile the family. Went through the public humiliation, the public shame, the public embarrassment all those years. And you leaving me? You dipping out after 27 years on me? Yes, if you still care. Yes, Deneen. Yes, yes, Glam. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Right? Because it's going to feel like rejection. All right. I'm willing to forgive. I'm willing to forget. I'm willing to continue to work on the marriage, even after what you did to the marriage. Right. And you're going to reject me. I've done all I can do. I've given up everything for you. And you're going to reject me on top of the ultimate betrayal. You're going to reject me. That's a lot. Yeah, that is a lot, right? That's a lot. Yeah. Yeah, y'all. But I wanted to bring this out to the forefront, y'all, and talk about Tina and Teddy Campbell. And it's a sad situation with them and the divorce. between this 27-year marriage. Um, Maybe they can pull it back together. Should they pull it back together? I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, a lot has happened between Tina and Teddy. Like I said, publicly, privately. Um, and maybe it's the best for her so that she can heal and move on, right? And so that her next chapter is her best chapter. Because we want to see Mary on tour. We want to see Mary on tour. Let him go his own way, and you go ahead and build this group back together, you and your sister, right? And you get back into your purpose and spreading the love of God, because that's what we need from Mary. Yeah, yeah. No, they don't need to get back together, Glam. Yeah, you right. Mm-mm. They don't. They don't need to get back together. I think they've done all they can do. She's went through enough. Yeah, I don't think they need to get back together either. Yeah, yeah. I think this is done. 27 years, it is a lifetime. It's sad to see. It is sad to see, but there's too much has been done in this marriage and everything. So she's done the best she can. And gonna have to let him go his own ways. If something else out there for him, let him go ahead on and find it. And she need to go ahead and go her separate ways as well. Yeah. Yeah. And he cheated. Yeah, Crystal. And he cheated. Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, y'all. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed this episode here of The Ultimate Betrayal. All right, talking about Tina and Teddy Campbell. All right, where he is now doing the divorce, filing for the divorce from Tina Campbell. All right, she's one of the group members from Mary. All right, a beautiful gospel singer here. And we do hope that she has a positive exit out of this marriage, and we hope great things are in store for her as well, and those children. Yeah, so thank you so much, Miss Deneen. You have a great night as well. Good night, Miss Glam. Thank you so much. Yeah, embarrassing. It is, Miss Deneen. So embarrassing. I hate it for here, but she needs to close this chapter. She needs to close this chapter because, like I said, he was embarrassing her this whole marriage. Every time she turned around, he's embarrassing her. Now at the end, he's going file for divorce, embarrass her again. Jesus. But yeah, so we'll keep her lifted in prayer. Keep her lifted in prayer for her and those beautiful children that she has. All right. Hopefully she'll be able to come back out here on this here tour and get Mary back together. That's what we want, and that's what we need from Tina Campbell. All right, y'all. Well, thank y'all so much for always coming on in the room and blessing your girl with your presence is greatly appreciated. All right, until next time, I hope y'all have a blessed night. All right, ta for now. Good night, y'all. Good night. Good night.